Alright, so let's get started. So before we start, let's just freeze our blueprints. Just by going to Object Properties, uncheck Frozen in Gray, and just freeze them. Reselection. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to start from here. Plane. Alright, so let's create a plane. I'll just change it to a color I can see. Okay. So the first thing I like to do is set my vertices to an axis where I can have them set to, on a certain symmetry. Alright, they're not set perfectly, which means the blueprints need to move. Alright, okay, so if you run into a problem like that, basically what you do is just unfreeze your blueprints and select all, which is just Control A, and deselect the plane you made. Make sure you're on the Move tool and just type in 0, and there you go. Now let's just reset it from here. I'm just going to drag this blueprint backwards. Just about here. Alright, there we go. Now select all again, deselect the plane, and free selection. There we go. Okay. Okay. So these are set to 0. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to start by just placing my 4 vertices over here on just some main points on the blueprint. So I'll just pick any main points that outline the bonnet, like this. As you can see, this line centers perfectly with the logo. Okay. Now let's adjust these points from the other views. So I'm going to my left view, and I'll just pull it up. Okay. And here. Alright. There we go. Remember, try not to follow the blueprints exactly. They're just there for reference. Just have them there to just give you some basic outlines, but always do the details yourself. Okay, so let's give it some curvature from the side. So let's connect it with 3 seconds. That should be right. Okay. Now from your front view, just make it see-through by hitting Alt-X. And remember, if you've used, here's an easy way. If you've used the red arrow here in your top view, don't use it again in your front view, because then it messes up everything. Just move everything upwards, or in the opposite direction you've used. So, like so. Okay. And it should have worked in the side view. There we go. Yeah. Now, this time, because we have no line to follow in the front view, we're going to use our left view. There's no need to estimate here because we already have a line to follow in our left view. Okay. Here. Okay. Just make sure everything matches correctly. Okay. Using your cut tool, which is just Alt-C, just cut a line, let's say from here. Let's just define a bit of curvature. As you can see, I'm not really following any certain rule to modeling this car. I'm just making my own rules. Okay. This time we're going to select these 4 vertices over here, and we're just going to raise them up as one. Let's just raise this one up just a bit, like so. This one. Alright, now in the actual car, this line over here is chamfered outwards. So let's create that. Again, there's no one way to create it, you just create your own way. Could work, could not, it's all trial and error. So, actually, let me just do this one. Okay, using your cut tool, just cut along this line, like so. Okay. Okay. Again, from your front view, just set up the vertices using your up arrow. That's good. Let's just set this up. There we go. Before we do anything, let's just add 2 modifiers. Let's add symmetry. There we go. And just hit flip. Let's just adjust it a bit. To actually move it, you need to hit mirror over here. Okay, and let's add a mesh smooth modifier. Set the iterations to 2. Okay. And let's just see how it looks. Always stop to make sure there are no mistakes in your geometry, like parts bulging out like this. In this case, we're still doing some chamfering, so that's okay for now. The way I'm going to do this, okay. Before I do that, I'd like to do something. Just select these edges over here, and I just like to connect them with one segment. Just add a bit of curvature first. And lift this up. Oops. Okay. There we go. Okay. Alright. Now to create that part in the middle, what I'm going to do is take these 2 lines and we're going to chamfer them to 0.01. Alright. Then you're going to select these vertices with a bounding box and hit Z to just zoom in on them. And just select that vertex over here, the one that's at the edge, the corner of a triangle. Okay, just zoom out and just pull it anywhere, just pull it somewhere. And using your target weld tool, you're going to target weld it over to this point. Okay, now for those of you who didn't get it, we'll do it again here. So select these, zoom in further, there we go. Select our point in the corner here, move it anywhere, and target weld it to the closest point. Alright, let's see how that looks. Alright, there you go, nice and clean. We've created our 2 chamfered lines. Of course you can emphasize them more by creating more lines around them. The more lines you create around these 2 chamfered edges, the more hardened the actual model will look. Okay, I think that's good enough for now. If I'm not going to increase the chamfering right now. I want to finish modeling first, and then if it still doesn't look too complete, I'll increase the chamfering. Okay. I think that pretty much does it for the bonnet. There's not much to do. I don't want to start creating seams over here until I create the front. So let's just move on with the front. Let's just save, and save as body 2. Okay. Remember to save often. Okay, so let's select these guys over here. Just as you're going along, just make small adjustments as you see fit. Okay, I'm going to hold shift and pull this whole edge downwards, like so. Alright, now you know what to do this, set it to 0. Anything on this edge is a symmetry edge, so just set it to 0. Okay, I'm going to ignore these vents here for a second. Okay. Select all the vertices, move them here. There we go, that's good enough. From your top view, just adjust them. There we go. What I want to do is curve round the headlights. I don't actually want to create anything in the middle. I just want to curve round the headlights. I'm going to reach here, and then I'm going to move everything inwards to create that area over here. So I'm not going to come anywhere near here. Okay. And that's okay. So shift, pull the edges down again. This should be already set to 0. Yeah. Okay. Make sure they're good. Okay, you don't need to set any proportions for these. Now, pick this edge and move it this way. Again, I'm just making up my own rules. I'm going on modeling the car the way I want to. Okay. Alright. Check how it looks. No mistakes in the geometry. Alright, that's good. Okay. Now what I would like to do is select this edge and connect it with let's say 2 for now. Now select these 2 points and can't move them actually. Yeah, we can. Let's move them here, I guess. Let's move these 2 over here. Let's move this one underneath. It's a bit weird, I know. There we go. Right, we added a bit more curvature there. Okay. Let's move this one backwards just a bit, and let's create another line here. Okay, now I would like to connect two lines over here. Just move them to the side to create the actual curvature of the car. Okay. Nice curvature over here. Alright. Okay, it's starting to take like a really basic shape. That's good. Okay. Just want to pull this outwards just a bit. Okay. What I want to do now is just save first, and then I'll select this edge, that one, all through here, and I'd like to use the scale tool and hold shift and just scale them inwards. Okay. Let's see how we can do this. Okay. Adjust it from your front view. Okay, doesn't look too bad. Blueprints. Alright. Actually, yeah, okay. Okay, there we go. I think that should be alright. No, you know what? Let's just push them in a bit. Okay. Here, I'm going to select this edge and insert vertex. Here. Just drag this vertex up. Side view. There we go. Just like that. Alright. So we created the body and then we extruded the edges inwards. Started off flat from this way and curved around and moved inwards that way. Alright, that's not bad, that's good. Sometimes you just gotta ignore the blueprints and move it to how you see fit. Okay, that's good enough. One thing wrong. Let's raise this up a bit. There we go. I like it that way. That's good. Okay. We're not going to do any chamfers right now. We're going to leave the chamfering to the end. But for now, I'd like to create a seam over here. Select these three edges, and you're going to chamfer them to 0.01. Then you're going to hold down Control, click the polygon icon over here, and hit shrink. Just delete these, and also delete this guy over here. Just make sure nothing's connected. Yeah. Oh, see? Polygon, delete, and just target weld these 2 points. Alright, now these two are disconnected. To check, just hit a polygon anywhere and keep going. There you go. They're disconnected. Okay. I disconnected them because I want to create them as two separate parts. I don't want them linked at all, because if we link them, it might cause a bit of problems later on. Alright. Let's see. Right here, at this point somewhere, there's sort of curve inwards. Let's do that now. Okay. Nope. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to do that slight curve here right now, which is, there it is. Here. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to leave it to the very end when I create the whole grill from the bottom here. Then I'm going to curve it inwards, because then it's going to be easier than it is to do it now. Yeah, let's just leave that curve for now. I could start connecting lines over here, but I don't want this area to get too crowded, because I'm still going to extrude a whole grill from underneath, and this might cause a few bulges and stuff right now, so I'm just going to leave that to the end. Okay, now you have one of two choices now. Either we start creating the vent holes over here, or we move on to the grill. I suggest we move on to the grill before things get complicated, because it's a bit complicated right now to model this part. So we're going to need the model to be nice and simple. Alright, so let's just save as body 3. Okay.